Welcome, Speed Gaming. This is the SGLIVE 2021 Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament. This is the losers finals between two amazing runners, Gebbu and LynxX Unlimited. My name is Eddie, and I have a special guest with us today. My co-com is Kip. Kip, how are you today?
I'm great. Really excited about this race and just the end of this tournament in general. It's been a really fun, competitive one. I've got a lot of thoughts on the three runners left and kind of what to look for in these races, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But yeah, today's matchup between Lynx and Gebbu is a really, really competitive one. It's going to be fun. And then the winner of this gets to face Sloaters in the final.
Yep, for sure. I mean, all three of these runners being incredible runners, topping the charts in terms of PBs in this tournament. And yeah, I mean, Kip, you know firsthand how strong both of these runners are. Having to play both of these runners and performing extremely well against both of them. I'm just super excited to see what we have in store for us today.
Yeah, I played Gebbu, I think, in the winners quarterfinals, and I won that race, but I had to PB to do it. And then I raced Lynx in the winners semis, and I lost by 2 seconds. So I'm definitely familiar with both of these guys. They're both excellent. Since they're about to start, I'll just give a quick kind of pregame about what to look for with these runners. Gebbu, Lynx, and Sloaters are the three players remaining in this tournament. And all three of them have the fastest 3 PBs of all the players that were in this tournament. Gebbu and Sloaters have the same PB, I think, at 42.14, and Lynx has like a 41.50 something, I believe. So Lynx has the best time. He's the #1 seed. He was my pick at the beginning in terms of who I thought was most likely to win. However, Sloaters is by far the most grizzled veteran when it comes to racing. Lynx made it to the finals of last year's Any Percent SpeedGaming Live tournament. This is Gebbu's, I don't know if it's his first, but I haven't seen him in a ton of competitions. So everybody is very like a high quality runner, but at the same time, there's an extra element of knowing how to manage your nerves and how to just adjust on the fly to bad situations. I think sometimes people underestimate the madness that can happen in a one-run scenario where you don't get a reset, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys perform.
Yeah, Kip, I was going to say, I think the interesting thing part of this, I mean, these top 3 runners that we have here, Sloaters probably by far the one with the most race experience, loves to do races of all forms, loves to play, old route, new route, pretty much anything, has just a lot of experience. Randomizers, Sloaters is very experienced in all of that. I would say you and Sloaters are kind of similar in the terms of being really strong at these races, having so much of this veteran experience. Lynx also, has participated in races, but I feel like his consistency comes from just being extremely good at this game. And Gebbu, I think, is maybe a little bit more dynamic, has that potential to maybe 41 in the future because we've seen him have insane times, but probably has a little bit less race experience than the rest of the players in this tournament.
I would agree with that. Lynx is the best Any Percent runner by PB in this tournament, but not only just that. And see, this is where it kind of, there's some nuances to the circumstances because even though Gebbu and Sloaters have an equal PB, and they're both fantastic. In fact, I've been really impressed with Gebbu in terms of it's not like he's done it like super quickly. Like, I mean, he's put in a lot of work, but at the same time, his efficiency at getting faster is very, very good. He picks up on things very quickly, and he's gotten down to a level of consistency quite efficiently. But I would still probably, if I was forced to bet, I would pick Sloaters in a one-on-one race against Gebbu. Not that it would be guaranteed to win, but I would just give Sloaters more edge because Sloaters knows how to manage his nerves extremely well in competition. I think sometimes it's hard to explain, Eddie. I don't know if you noticed this, but it seems like sometimes in races, depending on who you are and who you play, some people know how to like turn it on and sort of like be in the moment, and some people actually like play worse when they know people are watching and stuff. So I think Sloaters is the best one in terms of veteran experience there, but Lynx is the most I guess, technically skilled in this category. So I'm really excited about, this race, and then whoever plays floaters in the finals. I think we're going to have a really fun championship.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. I mean, just for context, Lynx is just cranking out 41s on the regular recently. A lot of the races in this tournament, Lynx has gotten a 42 or even like a low 42. I believe in the qualifiers, he got like a 42-15, which is absolutely insane. And I mean, the main thing I've got to say is in that last race, Slaughter's played absolutely out of his mind. Lynx had maybe a more uncharacteristic race in his last one, but Slaughter's playing absolutely out of his mind to take down Lynx into this losers bracket. But man, I've got to say, Gebbu is in this tournament because Lynx told him to join this tournament. And the moment Lynx told him to join this tournament, Lynx has been telling me on the regular, I'm really scared of Gebbu.
Yes.
Because suddenly, Gebbu's just been crushing it.
And for good reason. Gebbu is very, very good. Again, I mentioned earlier, I was the one person who beat him so far in this tournament, but I ended up legitimately PBing, like straight PBing in that race, and it was still pretty close.
That was
until the end.
That was probably the craziest race I've seen this tournament, honestly. Because
yeah, I've had crazy races. My race with Gebbu was crazy. My race with Lynx was within 2 seconds, and then my race with Z Music the other day was really close until the end, and I kind of had some unfortunate stuff near the end and died at Mother Brain too. But yeah, I think the experience that these guys have had in their races so far is kind of going to help them maybe settle in and lose the nerves. The only other element that I'll kind of say about the macro of this, other than the speedrunning part, is just I think when you're racing, especially when you're racing somebody that you know is very good, the little mistakes that might not bother you most of the time or bother you as bad when you're doing a PB attempt can kind of like stack on each other, and you start thinking like, oh my God, I can't keep making mistakes like this against this guy. And sometimes too, if you are playing well and then you look at the restream and see that the other guy is staying with you and he just won't go away, that can put extra pressure on you too. So I'm kind of curious to see how they manage that moving forward. And, we'll see. I think the early game is going to be pretty similar, but we'll see what happens when we get to the moat.
Yeah, so both players getting that 443, 444-ish bombs time. Very, very strong time at the beginning. And it looks like Gebbu didn't get really the drops that he wanted for this Bomb Chorizo fight. So has to go for that 2 round. So Lynx is going to edge out a little bit of a lead right here. So lots of things that could still happen in this early game. But I will say right now, their early game has been looking real sharp. As we know, anything can really happen in this race. It is Super Metroid 80% after all.
Lynx needs to start moving, or he's going to fall behind.
Yeah, I think Lynx is doing some weird tech I've never seen before. This
old strategy.
Don't think he's going to be able to take an advantage on Gebbu with this strat, but maybe he knows something I don't. He does have the 41 after all.
Yeah, this is the fast manipulation. But no, I'm sure his thing will show back up in a minute. Gebbu having a nice last couple rooms. Gonna hit this elevator. It looks like probably around 12-ish, 11. Yeah, almost 11. So that's a very good time, especially considering his BT didn't go super hot. Yeah, that's actually really impressive.
So far, doesn't look like Gebbu really has any issues right now. He has been even getting that little angle shot down on that door, and is gunning it straight for these early supers. A little sequence break because we are not going to go see Spore Spawn today. Doesn't get that D-boost, but that's okay. So just run straight through and we'll grab this drop as well as the super missile. One
thing that just happened, I'd like to point out, it probably won't matter that much. However, the way Gebbu ended up trying to recover from that accidental miss to jump up there, he did it in a way that was, I think, a little slower, or excuse me, a little faster than the way I do it when I recover. But he did not get iframes for the right amount of time, and he ran into one of those hoppers and took 20 damage. So, again, it probably won't matter. But there are definitely a lot of situations, depending on the strats that you run and whatnot, like in Hellway, and like there's all kind of nuances you can do for race strategies to preserve some health. But you really just don't want to be going into Fantoon with less health than you could have, or less energy. So I'm hopeful that will not matter. I don't think it probably won't, but you never know. You never want to be taking an extra 20 amount.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, in New Route, they will be playing Fantoon first. That is not the intended boss order. Kraid being first is the more intended boss order. So Fantoon will hit you pretty hard. 40 damage a shot, and the health that Gebbu currently has will carry all the way over to that Fantoon fight. So it's very possible with the damage he takes that maybe he'll be entering Fantoon with three hits before death as opposed to 4, which sometimes you can have if you have that maybe 140 health mark. And depending on how the rest of the room goes, there's a potential chance that he only has 2 hits before he dies.
Yeah, it looks like Lynx. This is not a good red tower so far for Gebbu. He's gonna. Yeah, this is gonna be. I say this with no judgment, but if I were to give that red tower a grade, that would be like a D+ because the adjustment that he made at the end, he still tried to get like a faster adjustment, and then it got punished even further with a shot. So that one lost a lot of time. Looks like Lynx is offline at the moment. Hopefully, he'll be able to get that back up at some point in the near future. Sometimes Lynx plays Among Us with us, and he has some disconnect issues sometimes, and so every time he does, we always ask the question like, well, I guess we'll find out if he was the imposter or not. So we'll see if he's the imposter here in a little bit.
Yep. All right, Gebbu going for this quick caterpillar room strat. Does come with a little bit of RNG. You want to lay that power bomb early, and you can get up that wall real fast. You do forego a super, but that cactus having none of that strat, and Gebbu has to wait a little bit and doesn't get that time save.
Yeah, he actually ended up having a slower time than he would have if he'd have done the normal kind of 2 farm there, but you know, that's the risk you take when you go with some of the harder, faster strats.
So we have Gebbu heading over to the moat, and this is one of the most notorious rooms of New Route. Does not get the CWG frame.
Yeah, and he's usually pretty comfortable with the bomb jump, so.
Ooh, not quite getting his first try.
Oh no.
That's not what you want to see. Gebbu's second bomb looking a little bit late there, so that bomb jump, I don't know what the frame window is, but it's very finicky, and you know, everyone knows about having troubles in Melt over on the second try. So that's okay. If Lynx were to have gotten across on that first try, though, that is a kind of a significant time loss. It's somewhere in the realm of 12 seconds or so, and that is a lot of time based off of how fast both of these runners are.
For a race, I definitely agree. And obviously in a PB attempt, you know, you can just kind of reset until you get the right rooms. But if I were to rank sort of the most important rooms in New Route, just in terms of, especially in a race like you really, really need to get these right, Moat would be at the top. It's the number one. Very big chance to lose a ton of time at the beginning. The second one I would probably say is worst room in the game, just because if you mismanage it, especially in like the really wrong way, you could lose the entire run in that room. And then if I were to pick a third one, I don't know. Fantoon's interesting. I guess I wouldn't count it as a room, but like even if you get bad patterns, you need to be able to capitalize on them, because if you don't, you can get mad punished for time. So this is it's kind of funny that Moat and Fantoon are back to back and have the potential to really, really throw off your time.
Therefore, saying that if you want to save that time, you're gonna have to get real good at this game. But Gebbu's health is looking a little sketchy, but able to pick up those big health. This was a slow pattern at the start, so I think he'll be fine. Probably get this 2. Ooh,
man, that's the worst second round.
Yeah, the thing is, when you get Fantoon in that pattern, you have a very high chance. Oh,
okay. Yeah. That's still very bad, though.
Yes.
This is very bad, and I feel like I jinxed him, because I think didn't I say something earlier about taking that extra 20 damage? He's gonna get health bombed right here, and that's very bad. Look at his ammo. Number one, the most important resource, in my opinion, leaving Fantoon is power bombs. If you don't have, first of all, you need 2 at minimum. If you don't, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to run a really slow strat right here. This strat is much, much slower than using the power bomb, but he has to do that strat because he needs the power bomb for the attic, And then secondly, you want to have as many supers as possible so that you can either A, skip some farming down the line in Norfair, or B, you know, be closer to full as you go to wave. It's really funny, Eddie, and I'm sure you know this from your own experiences running, but the sequence literally from Fantoon drops all the way to Lava Spark, it all chains together. Like all of the drops and stuff, like you can make a lot of choices based on it. And that was a really bad thing to have happen to get health bomb like that at the beginning.
Absolutely. So it looks like we have Lynx back, and Lynx appears to have taken the lead on Gebbu here. Looks like that pretty much, I mean, looks like Lynx didn't fall in the moat. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, he didn't fall in the moat, and I'm just gonna use my I'm just gonna totally guess. We'll find out afterwards. I'm gonna guess that he got a mid-mid.
Yes. Yeah. It appears, you know, slow being the absolute worst pattern you can get, obviously, in a 2-round situation, because there's no very slow. But yeah, so Lynx probably getting a little bit ahead because of the RNG, and yeah, Gebbu's still not that far behind though. And yeah, so Kip, as you were saying, the supers that you go right here, both these runners will be almost certainly playing Ridley second. And you need all the supers you can get to speed up that Ridley fight. And what you have right now will be carried all the way over to that section. There's this point in the middle of the run in Open Warfare after Speed Booster where you can start farming some bugs, but you can't entirely rely on that. And every farm that you have to do is just going to waste time, and you really don't want to waste time against runners of this caliber.
No, you're right. I will say this though. And I'm not saying this to like dampen the hype, okay? Anything can happen in Super Metroid. But in terms of two opponents that are this close in terms of PB and expected performance, this is a commanding lead for Lynx.
Yes.
If I were in Lynx's position, now he's not going to do this, I can promise you, but if I were in his position, I would feel confident enough with this amount of space between me and my opponent that I would actually even consider running PKRD here, which I know some people are going to be like, you know, why would you give some of that time back? But he's very far ahead, and it's even further than you think, because if you look at the resources equals time in this game.
Yes.
And right now, Lynx has an even bigger lead than it looks like because his resources are incredible, and Gebbu's are legitimately bad.
Yeah, Gebbu's going to have to farm these cactuses here because these cacti here because he doesn't really have the super count that he wants. So that's a little bit of time, you know, second and a half, assuming he did that correctly. He's probably going to want to farm that B-Tom, so that's probably another second that's going to be lost. And, you know, these things do add up. And as you said, you know, Gebbu being behind definitely can't take it easy. He's going to have to consider cutting corners to maybe save time because the more of a lead that Lynx gets, the more safeties that Lynx can take in this race.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, Lynx looks like, okay, so he doesn't go right, does not choose to go for that PKRD route. Now, even if he doesn't go for that PKRD route, I mean, he could grab other safeties. Like, Gebbu might have to be in a situation where he can't take that Ridley E-Tank because he needs to make up that time. And Lynx maybe could just go like, all right, I got a 20-something second advantage. I could just grab this Ridley E-Tank, and then I could consider whether or not I want to skip the bot to an E-Tank later.
Correct. Or even grab it. I mean, like, you know,
Yep.
He's in a position right now. And see, that's the thing, like, we could kind of sit here and talk all day about the nuances of the kind of safety choices of either doing PKRD or just doing PRKD with the Ridley tank and potentially the Botswoon. But since we're not going to see a PKRD, I won't kind of go into the nuances of it. But you're 100% right, Eddie. The grabbing the Ridley tank and then skipping Botswoon tank, if you get the correct drops, the time loss is actually like tiny, like in terms of what people think. It's not very much. So I think that would be a good strategy. And plus, on top of that, he could just straight get the Botswoon tank anyway with this kind of lead, if something doesn't go bad in Lower Norfair, and have a really, really much safer Dragon and Torian.
The other interesting nuance that there is let's say you do have a 30 or 40 second lead. You know, that's obviously a very, very strong lead. But sometimes you want to maintain at least that 40-second lead, because that would potentially give you comfort in the event that you were to miss that baby skip, because all that time could be lost in an instant just because of something like that.
That's true. And on top of that, you know, sometimes people lose extra time to unfortunate drops and stuff. Like any percent new route's a very volatile category. It's not quite as volatile as something like low ice or RBO in terms of RNG, but it's still pretty volatile, especially at the end when you're trying to go super fast. So there's still a lot of things to do. If I were in Gebbu's position, what I would just be telling myself is, you know, you just need to relax, because even though you're behind, there's nothing that you can individually do right now, like yourself alone, that's going to make up 30 seconds if they play good. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what you got to do is you just got to get yourself like to stay with the other guy, and then that way when the big things come up, then there's an opportunity potentially for you to get back in it. So he's not going to make up all this time in Upper Norfair. He just needs to stay calm and you know, run his normal stuff.
Yes. So I do expect, you know, maybe Kip, you have thoughts on this, but I do expect, given that Gebbu is a little bit behind, I think he will likely skip the wave missiles, because that is his typical strat. That's a very dangerous thing to do in a race, but we did see Lynx do that the other day when he felt like he had to make up time. And it did work out in the end for him, but obviously that comes at a very high cost of having a very nerve-wracking turn.
It does. And I don't know if everybody knows this. I actually I pick up the wave missile every single time, even in PB attempts. Like I never skip it. So it definitely saves some time, but the amount of time that it saves is kind of contingent on other factors, like how many missiles you decide to use against Ridley, how you manage your ammo. I could kind of go on and on. Plus, sometimes, occasionally, if you don't get the wave missiles, you can have missile complications before Dragon, which is not what you want at all. But yeah, I'm anticipating both of these guys kind of getting after. It looks like Lynx got the wave missile, which I think is a good call, but I could definitely see Gebbu skipping it.
Yes, I think Lynx, you know, we have seen him, he does skip it regularly on PB attempts, but we have seen him for the first time ever the other day, skipping the wave missiles in order to catch up. Now, Lynx, I think, is aware that he has that lead, so is not going to be skipping those today. But as you said, I mean, the fanfare is something around the lines of 6.5 seconds, but it is contingent on other factors, because if you lose or you don't have the proper resources for Dragon, and you don't have the proper resources for Turin, you don't have the proper, and if you missile Ridley and you don't have the extra 3 missiles, those are all little, you have to subtract that from the fanfare in terms of time saved.
Correct. Looks like Gebbu is getting it. On top of that, Eddie, the funny thing is, and you know, everybody can kind of see this if they go time it out, but it's not even 6.5 seconds, because if you skip it, you have to change your momentum as you move forward in the room. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice lava spark by Lynx. That's really nice to see him get that. But yeah, you have to change your momentum, so you even don't get the full 6.5 seconds of fanfare. Yes. And you lose some health. So there's trade-offs.
Yep. So yeah, excellent lava spark by Lynx. I mean, it's very imperative to understand how important getting that trick is, because you miss it and you basically are going to lose all your health, and everything is in Lower Norfair is going to kill you in one hit. That's just kind of how it is. So I mean, Kip, we've even seen that when you were in a race with a commanding lead, I think you just went for the gravity jump straight up to maintain that health going into Lower Norfair.
Yes, and I think I missed the lava spark and then had to do the backup when I faced Lynx, which put me in a precarious situation in Lower Norfair. But Lynx got it, no problem. Let's see what Gebbu does here. Looked like he got it too. Nice, both runners nailing them, and Lynx is pretty worse.
Close. That one was pretty close. I think he was a pixel off from bonking that wall on the left, the ledge. That would have been really bad. But yeah, Gebbu is looking to be in good shape in this Lower Norfair.
Lynx did not. One little small difference. Lynx didn't turn off his beams. He's running full beam. He's going to just do a beam fight. Gebbu did menu to take off Ice and Spazer, so he's going to use some X Factor strats. Lynx, so far, the back half of Lower Norfair and so far in Lower Norfair has been quite smooth. Everything's going exactly like he wants it so far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I was a little bit nervous because, you know, Lynx's stream was having some issues, and I feel like sometimes you have those technical difficulties, and it just starts kind of getting to you in the back of your head because suddenly you're distracted and you might not be able to focus. And this is a run that you absolutely have to maintain all your focus for. All these difficult tricks, all the dangerous parts of this game. It's just you have to maintain focus until the end of the race.
For sure. I do want to give a quick shout out to Gebbu real quick. He got a top shelf pillar spark, which was really excellent to see.
Nice.
Lynx getting fantastic drops. He's at 10 supers leaving Metal Pirates, which is exactly where you want to be.
Yep. So, Gebbu's not going to get this spark, so he's going to lose some time in the shaft. Oh, he's just going for it.
I do not like that. I don't like that decision. I don't think it was a good idea. I think he's going to have enough energy. Oh, I don't agree with this either. I do not. No.
Okay.
Dude, just go. Like there's no reason to turn around. The save is not going to help you in this race scenario.
I think the problem is Gebbu might not be aware of how much damage this flame does. It does 7, so he should be okay.
I think it does 7, but he also. Oh, that's unfortunate.
No.
So let me point something out real quick because that exact situation happened to me in an 80% race versus Zost one time in the finals of a tournament. What you need to do there is land on the statue and then do like the same kind of little bomb jump that you do at the moat to bomb yourself over to the left, and you'll never get hit by the spikes.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
It's just unfortunate. I have to imagine the reason that happened is I think Gebbu saw the 7 HP and was like, I don't know if I can get across. I suspect he was not aware of how much damage that flame does. Excellent fight by Lynx, by the way. And I think because of that, he's like, well, I don't have a strat potentially for this room because that room, it's on a global timer. Those hoppers, if you want to get the correct manipulation to get the mock ball across, you have to, everything once you enter that room, you have to do spot on perfectly, basically. And I think Gebbu kind of realized that a little bit late and then was like, wait, I might just die in this room because I don't have a backup strat in this situation with 7 health. And I think that's why he was like, I got to go back for that save. But then the key hunter decided, nope, that's not happening today.
Right.
And,
couple strategy things here, and this is actually what I think is the most interesting thing about these races is, like, don't get me wrong, I love the speed run execution technical aspect of it too. But at the end of the day, like, you know, most of us that have played the game a ton and have watched the game a ton, you know, we kind of know what to expect in terms of the strats they're going to go for, right? And it's pretty easy to tell when people get stuff and when they don't. But 2 strategy things that just happened here that kind of tie into what we've been talking about since the beginning of this race. Number 1, I think Lynx made a great decision to grab the Ridley tank, not only because Gebbu died, but also even if Gebbu, like honestly, even if Gebbu was even with me, I would have grabbed it anyway because Lynx only had 164 health after Ridley, which in my opinion is not what you want to do. I wouldn't want to put the entire race on one sequence, right?
Yes.
Secondly, Gebbu, this is one of those examples of probably the race setting kind of getting to you because when he messed up that strat with the Shine Spark and the Key Hunter staircase, that's okay. I mean, it stinks. You're going to lose some time. But the risk reward, if he had pulled off what he wanted to pull off there in terms of his recovery, he probably would have saved about 2 or 3 seconds. But if he fails it, he's dead. Like, that's pretty much the way you have to look at it, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, to me, if you think about, like, even if you're way behind, what is your best chance to get back in this race? It's probably not to gain 3 seconds. It's probably just to stay alive and stay within striking distance.
Yes.
So in terms of that decision, I don't think that was a prudent one. But at the same time, it's like, I get it because, you know, you're in the zone and you're just trying to make stuff happen.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, we have to give that shout out to Lynx. I mean, Lynx maintaining that lead, I think basically forced Gebbu's hand into that situation. Because in a race situation, it is a competitive match between 2 runners. And so when you're aware that someone is ahead, you know, as you said, Kip, you're the kind of player that will remain calm and just execute the best that you can. But you know, sometimes you feel like I gotta catch up. I gotta save those 3 seconds. And
Yeah, for sure.
maybe, and in the end, I think the pressure that Lynx put on Gebbu is the one that is what caused him that. Because I know for sure, if Gebbu had a 30-second lead on Lynx, I think he would have just waited right there.
Yeah, probably so. But like we said earlier, it's just part of it. It's totally understandable. It happens to everybody. Your your nerves are definitely on 11 when you're racing big name players like Lynx.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone that said that they had to get mad, I mean, even Sloters during the race was chatting in the chat for during the stream saying, "Well, I'm glad I had my lead for now." I mean, in the end, he did absolutely amazing that race. But if someone like Sloters is afraid of a runner, it's a very scary opponent.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Now I think everybody understands what they're up against when they're racing Lynx. But yeah, he's having a great run. His health is looking good. This isn't the health I would want to have in terms of looking forward to potentially skip the bot wound tank, because you don't really want to skip it, or you might only skip it and farm a little bit depending on what else you get. But that was some pretty nice drops by Kraid. If he can get some good healthy drops from bot wound, he might could skip it. But I think in his current scenario, I mean, let's just be real. The smartest thing he could do is just grab the bot wound tank and finish the run for tank, and probably even save before Mother Brain.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, probably the smartest decision is to take every save, farm every farm, and grab all the T tanks. But Lynx is gonna go ahead. He's gonna missile this mini Kraid because super missile this mini Kraid because almost certainly gonna get 4 supers from there to max out his count. And just has great resources going into this Meridia section.
Lynx getting a little trolled there. I forgot what's the name of that room with the key hunters.
The party room.
Yeah, something very similar happened to me in my last race too. It's not super fun when that happens, but he's fine, and now he's gonna head into Meridia.
Yep. Yeah, that party room is funny because when you're a new player going into Super Metroid, if you don't know that the proper way to go up there when things go wrong is to jump and morph, then you're going to try to get up there and you'll just constantly be smacked back down until you have no idea what to do, and you just start having to shoot them down until they die.
Right.
So yeah, it can be a real party if you don't get that strat off in the beginning correctly.
It's about as much fun as losing in Mario Party, probably.
For sure. So we have Lynx heading over. Is going to use this power bomb, break these blocks, and is going to head over to that bot wound fight. Meanwhile, Gebbu, restarting this match is, actually has a very strong early game right now. But we have Lynx heading over to this bot wound fight. Let's see if he can get this one run right here. We'll be setting up the D factor.
Oh, very nice. Oh, almost was able to finish it without getting hit, but it's not a big deal. I think if I were him in this situation, not only would I grab this tank, I would actually farm too to get some supers. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I know every speedrunner wants to run their fastest time and yada yada yada, but like, the main thing here is winning the race, right?
Yes.
So he's not going to do it.
Yep.
I guess
he got that one super. Yeah,
he did get that one super. Yeah, so he should have what he needs, but it wouldn't have hurt. I mean, he could basically cruise from here on out and win.
Yep. So nice full halfie by Lynx, nailing that. And Lynx going to be extra safe here. Doesn't want to have anything to do with something going seriously wrong with Dragon and taking crazy chain damage or dying somehow. That would be a very rare thing to happen from Lynx. But I think Lynx understands that he's not going to take any chances here, especially going to this final stage of the tournament where he absolutely wants to win and take home that grand prize.
No, that's a good point. And, it's possible. I think the cool thing here about if Lynx maintains this and wins is that, technically speaking, even though it didn't turn out to be this way in a row, but the Lynx versus Sloters matchup was kind of a best of 3 because, if Sloters wins the next one, he'll have gone 2-0 and win. But if he loses, it's 1-1 and there'll be another race. So pretty cool to see.
All right. right, so looks like this is gonna be a pretty good 2-round for. Oh, was that?
No, yeah, I was gonna
there
say
we
he
go.
kind of got trolled a little bit, but he made a good adjustment there.
Nice spike
That's an
suit.
interesting setup for that spike suit.
So I was actually talking to Ruyarn about this yesterday. I always thought that was strange because Kip, I assume that when you use spikes, when you try to go for the spike suit time, you probably press right and you press jump twice. Is my guess?
Yes.
Yes. So the reason why Lynx does it that way is my understanding is the reason why Lynx does that is because he actually uses up on the first input to unmorph. This I don't know exactly why he does it. Maybe it's because he has been running Hundo recently, but I asked Ryorn about that, and he said because Lynx is not up against the wall, he has to do that up press. That's why he does it in that way. Because it is a little bit strange to me. Normally, I'd want to be flush up against the wall for the spike suit, but I mean, Lynx is super consistent at it, so.
Hey man, listen, whatever works. Whatever works.
Alright, so we have Gebbu re-entering this Fantoon fight. Now we have Lynx heading over to that G4.
Oh, Gebbu almost closing out the 2-round there.
Not quite getting it, but yeah. So let's see if Lynx, you know, has plenty of good resources, but yeah, is just gonna farm right here. Make sure he has got, okay. I mean, those resources, Kip as a new route runner, how good are those resources heading into Tyrion?
Craigasm.
Yeah, you're pretty much never gonna see those resources when you have to do, you know, you're going for a PB attempt. I don't, that's a lot. To have that much health and that many supers is absolutely incredible.
Or Dear Cozy.
All right, so I mean, if Lynx wanted to, he could do a ship refill here, but I think because he farmed those Meridia bugs, we can expect that he's not going to do that. If he's going to take one last save, it'll probably be somewhere in Tyrion, just to make sure. But I mean, at this point, he's got kind of this whole thing on lock. But you know, we'll see if Tyrion trolls him a little bit, or he can get a good final stretch of this game.
He got a super drop on the first pirate. Are you kidding me, man?
Oh man, Deer Force really treating Lynx well right now.
I will say this though. Hold on. I want to find out how many. Go ahead. I want to find out what his Fantoon pattern was. Hold on.
Yes, good call. So, as you predicted, or not as you predicted, but you made the prediction that Lynx had that mid.
Oh,
so I definitely.
I can't type in there because I'm not in the race.
All right, hold on. Let me. I could try to pull that up, but
yeah, one thing I'll say why Eddie's doing this is, I really hope Lynx doesn't get. I mean, he's way ahead. Assuming he just doesn't do anything, just catastrophically, you know, unfortunate. He should be fine. But sometimes, you know, players can get lulled into a sense of safety about their ammo, and they can be hyper aggressive in these rooms. And I just kind of want to acknowledge y'all, like, not that it's a competition, but I have been annihilated by Metroid drops in so many PB attempts that I can't even tell you, right? And so, like, you really, really have to be careful not to be too hyper aggressive with your approach with ammo at the end, because the game is not guaranteed to give you jack squat.
looks like Lynx had a lull security right there and forgot to switch over to that ice beam. Oh, maxing out his resources in M1, that's real nice. Unfortunately, because Lynx VOD was cut out, didn't really think about that, but will not show up in his stream. So don't want to distract him right now, but we can ask him a little bit later down the line.
Oh, yeah. And right now he's getting, like, awesome drops.
Oh, yeah. So,
like, this is the most comfortable drops I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. If, you know, and I've got to say, if I had to pick someone that had the worst drops in this tournament, that would be Gebbu. So Deer Force is saying that they want Lynx to win today is what I'm seeing. And Deer Force tried their best to get Gebbu out of this tournament a while ago, but Gebbu making it all the way to the losers finals, saying, you know what? I don't care if I get bad RNG. I'm gonna make it to the final stages of this run and really show everyone in this tournament what's up.
Yeah, and Gebbu made it into the money. You know, the money for this tournament is going to the top 3 finishers. So anytime you make the cash in a tournament, that's a success.
Yep. He's getting a little, looks like he got crouch locked or something like there. That's kind of awkward, but got locked up against that wall. But that's fine. We'll just go take that Metroid refill. Or sorry, we'll take that refill on the left side of the room next, and we'll just go and move on to the final stages of the game.
Yeah, that's okay. Lynx probably just did that for the viewers. He just, he wanted us to have a chance to visit the lore.
Yeah, just we got to get that full Metroid experience in today's match. So, Lynx heading over. Baby decides, wait a second, something's not right here. I'm not gonna take Samus's life. I'm gonna let Samus live. And Lynx heading on over to that Mother Brain fight.
Okay, I was just gonna say, if I were in Lynx's position, I think a save here is by far the best decision, because even though you have 4 tanks and you have probably like a 95% chance or higher to get through this fight and survive, there's just no reason at all. Like, you're not on a PB pace. There's no reason at all to not take this as safely as possible and make sure that you get the win.
Yep. Nice little down back sub skip by Lynx. Always can be kind of tricky. But yeah, I mean, Lynx, I think, just wants to make sure that he can finish this as soon as possible, because if something did go wrong, he does have that Dragon save from a while ago, and that would still keep him at that advantage. But yeah, if Lynx doesn't make it through this Mother Brain 2 fight with these resources, I'd be kind of shocked, especially if someone of his caliber. But, everyone's been catch up in their lifetime, so, you never really know until the Mother Brain 2 fight is over.
So while we're watching this this fight here, tell me what you think about Mother Brain 2.
Well, Kip, I've got a lot of thoughts on Mother Brain 2, but it's funny that you're asking me about Mother Brain 2 when you've had some of the craziest Mother Brain 2 fights.
Look, I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I didn't see every race, but I don't think there's any way that I didn't get the 2 worst Mother Brain 2s of the tournament. And one of them I managed to survive in my PB, and the other one put me out of the tournament. But yeah, some days, man, she's like just super normal, no problem, and then other days she just does some really wild stuff.
Yeah, so I would say one of the main things that you're concerned about in the Mother Brain 2 fight is when you get that meatball into late delayed onion ring combo. Because sometimes on your way down you just get clipped by some onion rings, but otherwise it might be that meatball french fry combo. But basically any sort of meatball combination that requires you to have to do have you fall a little bit earlier and land on the center of explosion is always a little bit scary, because there is a way to avoid. Lynx is going to make sure that he damages down to that 394 health. But yeah, there's always situations where you will have to eventually learn how to land in the center of that meatball explosion to take no damage, because you will generally not have much health to work with in this fight.
That's right. Well, while we're in the cutscene, Eddie, tell us a little bit about the championship, because tell us what the schedule's looking like and what we're going to do here.
So, with the final match coming up next, the runners will have a 1-hour break. Lynx looking like he's going to take this one home, and he will be getting that rematch against Sloters 27 in the grand final. So that will be happening in 1 hour from now, and that will be happening, I believe, on the same channel right here, SpeedGaming 2. Now, because Lynx got knocked into the losers bracket and Sloters has not dropped a game yet and is still in the winners bracket, Lynx has to beat Sloters twice, and Sloters only has to win once. And as we said, that it wouldn't be no shock to anyone that Lynx was considered the number 1 seed. Sloters himself will tell you that as well. So Sloters having 2 shots against Lynx is going to be really, really good for him, and it's going to be a really, really exciting match. I hope everyone that's here right now can tune in 1 hour from now on SpeedGaming 2 to watch that match, because it is the grand finals, and they will be fighting for the cash prize as well as that modded SNES Junior.
That's right. And down goes the baby.
The final, most dramatic parts of the lore of Super Metroid, and in a fit of rage, Samus gets that hyper beam, able to just give Mother Brain 3 that whiplash, and Lynx making short work of this fight. The prize pool for the Super Metroid Any Percent tournament is $320 as of right now. I believe that's pretty much locked in at this point. And the first place prize will be getting half of that, so $160 for first, and I believe it's, if I remember correctly, $96 for second, and $64 for third. So, Gebbu, probably getting third in this round, but is honestly in. You make the money in a Super Metroid 80% tournament that's this stacked, and you can be very proud of yourself.
Absolutely, definitely. Yeah, Gebbu's got a lot to keep his head up about. He had a great tournament, a lot of great performances. Again, like you said, you know, when you have so much good competition and you have a lot of people, you know, playing really well, it's tough. It's tough to make it deep into a tournament. So he did a really good job. Slaughter's got to give him a special shout out too. Not only is he in the championship of this tournament, but he also made the championship finals of the randomizer tournament. He ended up getting second place in that one, but to be in the finals of 2 different tournaments at the same time is very, very impressive.
So, Gebbu, kind of understanding at this point that Lynx is all but finished with this match, opts to go out in a spectacular explosion in that lava spark room in the way that he chooses to. So, we have Lynx finishing with first place with an official racetime.gg time of 43 minutes and 26 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Lynx. That is actually a really great race time.
Especially with the baby skip miss and all kinds of other, I mean, like, yeah, with all kinds of other things that he did to, you know, for safety on the back half of the run. That's very good. So, yeah, this Lynx versus Slaughter's match here in an hour is going to be about an hour and 15 minutes. It's going to be a really good one, and it's possible that we get back-to-back races. So, good luck to both of them. Both excellent competitors and both worthy potential champions.
So we'll see if we can get one of these players in for, or any of these players in for an interview. They're just chatting a bit on Lynx wondering what happened to Gebbu. And with us we have Gebbu. Gebbu, yeah, an unfortunate death, but yeah, can you give us any thoughts on that race?
Hey guys. No, it's I don't know. I think I chalked that down to my lack of race experience, really. I was just kind of thinking back on it. There was a lot of ways I could have gone out of that situation. I think the best would have been resetting the room right away when I failed the my D-pad was kind of giving me a bit of trouble there. Where it would like press down instead of right, so I could actually get down the hole to do the spark. So right away there, I should have definitely just reset the room. But I don't know. I guess I'm not in the race mindset enough to really do that. I was like, this is not a thing. That is not a thing that really enters my thought process at that point. So I was just let's keep going and see how it goes. It's definitely it.
Yeah, Kip and I were talking about that. Gebbu, do you know how much damage that flame does entering that wasteland room?
No, is it less than 8?
It is 7 damage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we were saying, because we based on what your movement was looking like, it looked like you were thinking as you're going down, wait, I think the flame's gonna kill me. So then it looked like you were like, I don't know how to do that room without doing the optimal strat. So it looked like you wanted to go back to the save so that you could just restart it if you died. But yeah, the fire does 7 damage.
I was wondering about that. Like, is it really? Was it really more than 8? I always feel like it's more than 8. But okay. Well, I'll never forget that again then.
Yeah.
So Gebbu, you know, obviously you had a bit of a tough race today, but you know that's just Super Metroid for you. But you had a really, really good tournament. We were talking about how, you know, to make the top 3 in a field of so much like high level competition and people playing really good and racing really well is very impressive. So first of all, congratulations. And then second of all, just tell us a little bit about your experience in this tournament overall.
It's been good. Thank you, by the way. yeah, it's been a good experience. I think I was talking, smashing in on my stream yesterday that doing these races it really helps me with my nerves going for PB attempts. Since it kind of puts it into perspective a little bit. Since there's a lot more on the line in these races than just doing random PB attempts. So that's like one concrete thing that's been a worthwhile experience or whatever you can call it that I can bring with me after this tournament. And yeah, it's been a good experience overall, I think.
Well,
I'll
you've
say
had a
it.
fantastic showing, and obviously we wish you the best in terms of pursuing that 41. And, you know, obviously I think we're all confident that you're going to get there. One real quick last thing I'm going to brag about. I think we didn't see a good chunk of LynxX's run because his stream cut off, and then we picked it back up in bowling. And I said, looking at the time, my best guess is I'm going to assume that he got a mid-mid. I was wrong. He got a fast-slow, which is basically the same in terms of
Yeah.
time. So we were pretty accurate on that. But yeah, Eddie, thank you for having me on comms today. It was great to see this race. I'm looking forward to watching Sloters and LynxX this afternoon and wrapping this thing up. This is the final sequence for Super Metroid in SpeedGaming Live. I don't know if there's SG3 going on, and obviously that has a Super Metroid component, but just in terms of pure Super Metroid, this will be the last thing of the event this year. So I'm pumped to watch it.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Kip. So, looks like we're going to have to wrap things up soon. But, Gebbu, do you have any final words that you want to say to the people on the stream watching you? You put up a great showing this entire tournament, knocking down so many people. I mean, taking the loss to Kip right here into the winner's bracket and then taking the loss to LynxX is nothing to be ashamed of, as these are all extremely great runners. But any final words that you have to say to your fans here?
Nope. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. GG to LynxX. He deserved to win this either way, definitely. So I think he can definitely get the revenge against Sloters today. I have faith. I'm rooting for him. So good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a little bit of time, but I've just got to say, thank you for everyone for watching and tuning into this tournament. Please make sure to watch the grand finals coming up. It will be about 1 hour from now. We're going to have that rematch between Sloters and LynxX. It's going to be excellent. LynxX gonna have to fight and take down Sloters twice to win that grand prize. It's just, I can't have for words. These are the number 1 and number 2 seeds going into it. We'll see if Sloters can maintain that level of play that he did in that first one around. Man, Kip, I'm just super excited for this. And I think we're going to have a really good grand finals.
I do too. And best of luck to both Sloters and LynxX. Hope you boys put on a good show. And yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, so that about does it for the losers finals of the SGLIVE 2021 Super Metroid Any Percent. This has been an incredible run so far. We have seen everything. We have seen people die. We've seen people make it all the way. We've seen double KOs. We've seen everything. And it all comes down to these final 2 runners. We have LynxX and Sloters. LynxX taking this victory right now over Gebbu. Excellent match. Please, everyone, stay tuned. Come back in the hour, and we're going to have a great match. And this has been the Super Metroid 80% Losers Finals. And we will see you next mission.